Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what people find interesting about you. So the cool thing I'm seeing is it's 11:11 on the clock as we're starting. So we have 3 piles to choose from. For pile number 1, we have rose quartz. For pile number 2, we have Chrysocolla. And for pile number 3, we have Specula Hematite. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile, pick whichever one you are most drawn to. So hopefully by now you have picked a pile for yourself. If not, you can pause the video. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number ones. If you chose this rose quartz crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you do people find interesting. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you do find yourself resonating with these messages, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I am taking my last bookings for November. I'm almost fully booked. So if you don't want to miss out, please find my email address in the description box below. After that, I will be taking a break from personal readings. So your card is the Empress here that you chose, but the moon also came out with the intro card when I was shuffling cards for the intro. So let's go ahead and shuffle the rest of your cards. I think I'm going to just pull tarot for today and kind of like pull some cards, and then after that get clarification cards. So let's get started with that. Okay, so spirit guides of pile number 1. Spirit guides of pile number 1. What do people find interesting about pile number 1, please? You have the star showing up next. That's really cool that you have the moon and the star. You could be very cosmic in some ways. Some of you could be very intuitive, very mystical. You have the 6 of Wands reversed, so that maybe is the first thing people find interesting about you, like your mystical side, how cosmic you are. And you have the Fool. And at the back of the deck, you do have the Page of Cups with the Death card and 8 of Pentacles wanting to come out. Okay, so I do sense that with you, people find you interesting because of how much you've healed. That's the first thing I'm getting. So you've healed something very big. Because that 8 of Pentacles card had Chiron in it, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So there have been some wounds you've been healing within yourself. Some of you may even consider yourselves healers for the collective, light workers, people that share healing with others, or maybe some of you are working in therapy or in maybe you're actually going to therapy, or you're actually a therapist yourself, or a psychologist, or something like that. I'm seeing work revolving around healing others, or building community, or being a light for others when they're just going through dark moments for some of you. So that could be found to be interesting about you. I see that you're very well known or recognized for what you do. Some of you have public platforms where you're in the public eye of some kind. But what people find interesting about that, if you do resonate with that, is although you're quite well known or well liked or well respected, or just like in the public eye of some sort for some of you, there's something about you still having some sort of privacy, or still keeping mysterious in some way, shape, or form, because the moon is here, which represents all things hidden and all things private. So there's something about some of you, being well known, but still keeping certain things about your life private. It's almost reminding me of Beyonce. You know how Beyonce is so private, or that character that played Maddie from Euphoria, how she's so private but she's well known. It's reminding me of that if I had to use an example to explain what I'm seeing. So that could be found to be interesting, because most people, when they're just like well known or popular or just well liked. They kind of just share everything about themselves to be seen more. But with you, it's kind of like you don't necessarily care about that. Like, let's say you do have a public platform. You enjoy what you do, but you don't necessarily care too much about the fame and all of that. So let's say someone here is a tarot reader on YouTube. You don't really care too much about that. You just care about helping people. Or let's say somebody here makes videos that help people with their mental health. Like, let's say you're a psychiatrist or a therapist and you make videos revolving around mental health. That's a kind of energy I see for some of you, or you're just very well known by people, but you don't necessarily seem to care much about popularity and those things because you keep things private. That's the assumption that's made based on that. And that's what they find interesting because that's not something you see often. With a Fool here, and the Death card that wanted to pop out, you've gone through a big transformation where you've changed a lot of things in your life. And it kind of feels very hidden as to like what you did to make those changes. It kind of feels like a mystery of what you did to make those changes. So imagine it from the outside eye of like, I'm seeing you make a huge change in your life, a huge transformation, where at one moment you're like this, the next moment you're like this. And I almost feel like I can't catch a break, or I can't catch up with you in some way, because this sudden change is just so huge, whether that be a physical change you've made to yourself, internal changes to your personality, or just changes you've made in your life in general where they feel huge and they feel like huge new beginnings or opportunities have come into your life and people wonder how you got there. And that is found to be very interesting and intriguing to others because they want to find out like how you did it, what caused it, what pushed you to go through this. Did you want to do this yourself or did it just happen? So I see them like asking questions and a sort of mystery around a lot of these things I'm going to talk about, where people want to know more about it, and that's why they find it interesting because they don't know that much about it, but they just see it from the outside perspective or view. I'm also getting a message here for someone, like let's say someone here is a doctor and like you don't really care too much about how much money you're making, but you just want to help people. I keep seeing energies like that. When I look at the Six of Wands reverse, it's like I don't really care too much about the physical success of it, but I want to help people. You definitely have a big purpose and people see that. So in whatever way, shape, or form that resonates for you, take it as it resonates. I also see here that people find it very interesting that you seem to have a lot of depth to you as a person. Um, People can tell when they speak to you that you have depth to you. There's more about you. There's more to you than meets the eye. But then again, there's so much mystery surrounding you where they don't exactly know how to ask these things they're questioning about you or thinking in their mind where they'd like to know answers to. Not in bad ways, but just like a sort of curiosity they have towards you. Um, where a lot of people just want to get to know you on that deeper level because they see there's depth to you, but maybe there's some sort of feeling of like, I also don't want to seem nosy or intrude or um overstep this person's boundaries if they don't want to like create a deeper connection with me or anything like that. So I see people kind of just keeping their distance and not prying, if that makes sense, because there's a lot of questions they want to ask you about all these things I'm mentioning, but they don't exactly know how to, or they want to get deeper in conversation with you, but they don't exactly know if they can, if they're, for example, like a stranger or an acquaintance, they don't want to overstep any boundaries. People find it also very interesting that yes, you have depth to you, but you also know how to be playful and how to dream and how to like connect to your inner child in some way. Yet at the same time, you also know how to be very nurturing. So an example for what I'm seeing here, let's say there's mothers in this pile, and you can be very nurturing to your child and take care of your child and be very motherly, but then at the same time, you also know how to play with your kids. Um, like let's say you're playing dolls or something. Like I'm seeing an energy like that where you know how to be mature and handle situations with maturity. Yet you also know how to let your inner child out and play. And maybe people don't use the word inner child, but there's something about you having that energy within you, yet also being so nurturing at the same time. What I will say is people find a lot of these personality traits interesting, but the first thing that does pique their interest with you is your looks with the Empress, because the Empress is ruled by Venus, or has the planet of Venus in the Empress, whatever it's called. So Venus is a planet of beauty, so that's why I'm mentioning that. But it's also the planet of romance. So you could have a lot of people interested in you in a romantic sense that hide their feelings for you. Since we have the moon here, a lot of people secretly like you, but hide that they feel that way towards you, because again, it feels like we're strangers or we don't know each other that well, so I don't want to come on too strong. So that's the feeling I'm getting here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your clarification cards now. People also find the way you dress quite interesting. They like the way you dress. So spirit guides of pile number 1, clarify the Empress please for what makes them interesting to others. So you have the King of Cups, and you have the Ten of Cups reversed. Okay, so what people find interesting about you is you're a very loving, nurturing, caring person in general. You're someone that always goes with the flow. You always seem emotionally balanced and calm in some way, which is really interesting that that's coming through, because Spirit was showing me, okay, long story short, I had this sim I was playing with because I like to play sims, and I named her Calmera. I don't know why. I just like came up with that name, weird name, but anyways. I named her that, and Spirit was showing me that name, and now Spirit is showing me calmness again. So there's something about you that's so calm that people find interesting. Like, how do you stay so calm all the time? How do you stay so chill all the time? That's the kind of energy I see here. But I also see that although you're so loving and nurturing, maybe there's been somebody in your life that hasn't exactly treated you the way you deserve, or you didn't exactly have the best relationship with them. It could be different for all of you. Maybe this was a toxic relationship for some of you. Maybe for others of you, this was something where there were incompatibilities between the two of you, but you tried to make it work, or there were just problems in the relationship or marriage, and you tried to make it work, but it just wasn't working out. Whatever it is, I just see some kind of romantic connection in your life where things maybe didn't work out the way you wanted it to, or um things aren't as great as like you wanted it to be in the connection, if you're still in that connection. And with the moon, it feels like it's kind of like secretive, like outside people don't really know why this happened. So there is a sense of intrigue here, um and nosiness. I'm picking up on like people that are nosy, that want to know the gossip, that want to know what happened, because they find it interesting what happened in this connection. So yeah, that's kind of what I see. Maybe you're somebody that doesn't really tell people like what happened in a relationship. Like, let's say you go through a breakup, you don't really tell people what happened, and it causes some kind of intrigue here, where I almost see like people gossiping and asking, what do you think happened in their relationship? Like trying to figure things out. Almost, Spirit is showing me a detective. So almost like trying to be a detective in your love life, which is really weird, but that's what I see. 8 of Swords, the Page of Wands, and you have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so what people find interesting about you is even through heartbreaks and failures, you still remain positive. Even through situations that don't go the way you expect, you still remain positive and you try to learn from the situation and go into the new beginning, taking that old lesson from the past and taking it as a lesson of like, I'm learning something from this and I'm growing from this so that maybe I don't make the same mistakes in the next connection or in the next situation or opportunity, whatever it is. Let's say you do something where you make a mistake. It seems like maybe at first it's hard to like get over it. Maybe sometimes you are a little bit hard on yourself, but you try to think positively in a way and reframe your thought patterns where you're like, okay, what can I learn from this mistake? How can I do this better next time? How can I improve next time? So it seems like you're the type of person that is constantly improving and bettering yourself and bettering your life and trying to learn and grow. You're constantly open to learning and growing. And that is what people find very interesting. And the reason I mention positivity is because we have the Eight of Swords Medusa here, which feels like we feel stuck in a situation. But next to that, we have the Page of Wands with the sunflowers, which makes me think of the spiritual meaning of sunflowers is they face the light, they face the sun, which means facing the positivity, facing the light, looking for the light in dark situations or in situations where we don't know what to do or we feel stuck or stagnant or alone or afraid, whatever it is, where we try to reframe our mindset because the Eight of Swords, well, Swords card in tarot is all about mindset, right? So I see that as positive thinking, even in moments where maybe your first instinct is to think negatively about a situation or to think you're stuck, where you think positively and you say, okay, I'm never truly stuck. There's hope with a star. You try to have hope even in moments where you feel like there is no hope. And that's kind of what people find interesting about you. You always believe that something good can happen. And that's something people find very interesting, especially people that maybe are prone to hopelessness or feeling stuck or not feeling positive about the future, so that's what I see. Maybe you help them learn from you, where it's like maybe they learn and they're like, oh, I don't have to think this way, I can think in this way. I'm seeing someone here does photography or art or does something creative, and people find your work quite interesting, where they want to find some kind of meaning behind the work. What I'm seeing as an energy is like, let's say I make an artwork, but I don't exactly tell people what this artwork is about. And now they're kind of trying to decipher the hidden meaning behind that artwork of what it truly means, where they're trying to like almost pick it apart and analyze it. And I do feel like people do that to you as well. Because you're so mysterious, they try to almost analyze you in a way and study you, but out of a sense of I want to know more about you and I'm curious about you and I'm interested in you or about you. Um, Whereas some people, it's more so a nosiness, prying. But I feel like for most people, it's just I'm interested in who you are. Yeah. People also find your social media posts quite interesting or entertaining. Like, let's say you post a funny meme on your story. Maybe people find the things you post interesting or entertaining in some way. People also find it interesting how you just go with the flow. You seem like a free spirit, and that's what I'm really getting here. So this is what I have for you. This is what people find interesting about you. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my Palomar 2s. If you chose this Chrysocolla crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what people find interesting about you. Please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you do find yourself resonating with these messages, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, please find my email address in the description box below. I'm taking my last bookings for November. And I'm almost fully booked. So if you don't want to miss out, you know what to do. After that, I will be taking a break from personal readings. So your card that you chose is the Strength card. I'm going to pull just Tower for today. We're first going to pull four different cards after this one to see what comes up. And then after that, we'll get your clarification cards. So what I want to say, I'm seeing this visually and clairvoyantly. So I'm seeing a volcano, but right next to the volcano is a calm sea, and this volcano is about to erupt. So what people find interesting about you is maybe you know how to keep your calm and composure in some way. Like you can almost have this relaxing type of vibe and energy like the ocean. Or maybe you love the ocean or something like that. And I'm being taken to like tropical islands and things like that. So maybe someone here travels a lot. But what I was saying here is, um, like the calm ocean, you can be calm, but the ocean can also get quite, it can have like big waves that are destructive in some way. And the volcano can erupt at any time. So, what I'm getting from you that people find interesting is you have this relaxed vibe and persona. And, you know, when people try to push your buttons, you try to remain calm, you try to remain composed and civil, and try to not like react to certain situations. But then, in some situations where maybe somebody's treating you really bad, then you will show a side of your anger and react to that. Like a volcano erupting, you let out all your emotions, and there is no mercy for that person because they don't expect you to almost blow up on them or call them out in a very harsh way. And something about that is something people find interesting because maybe because you have this like relaxed vibe and persona you carry, and you try to remain composed and civil, and like you try to have some self-control when it comes to your emotions. Sometimes in certain situations you don't let people get away with things, where they think that you're just not going to say anything to them because you seem so chilled and laid back. They think you're not going to say anything to them or call them out, but then when you actually do and you let out like your fury or your anger, it shocks them in a way, and it actually makes them respect you more, but it actually scares them a little bit because they didn't expect that. Or it intimidates them a little bit because they didn't expect that. And I see people clapping though. So I see people's reactions being positive to it because maybe you're not somebody that's always quick to anger or quick to react. So maybe they see those situations as justified, that, you know, you're human, you have your own reactions. Everybody has reactions to certain things. And that whatever that person did to you must have been really bad for you to react like that, because usually you're calm and composed. So that's what I'm getting, firstly. And I think people are glad when you stand up for yourself, because people don't want you to be somebody with no backbone, you know what I mean? You definitely have a backbone of your own with the Strength card, since I mean he's holding this whole earth. So let's go ahead and pull your cards and let's see what comes up for you. And it's funny that I saw that, and when I shuffled your cards, because I just wanted to get pile two's energy so that none of pile one's cards can come out. And the Five of Wands is at the back of the deck. So I do feel like you've had that a lot in your life, where people just try to push your buttons or think that because you're so relaxed, like you will accept any kind of treatment. No. So, spirit guides of pile number two, spirit guides of pile number two. And if you travel, people do find that interesting, where they want to find out like where you went to, they want to see pictures of where you went to, how it was, you know, things like that. So, what do people find interesting about pile number two? Maybe some of you work as flight attendants and you're constantly traveling, or you constantly travel for work. For somebody here, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. You have the Judgment card. and you have the Ace of Wands reversed. You actually have 2 extra cards that came out with this, with the Lovers reversed and the Page of Wands. I'm just going to organize this quickly, and then you have the Moon at the back of the deck. Okay, so what people find interesting about you, pile number 2. What I'm also seeing is you could be emotionally strong or resilient or very physically strong. Whatever works, whatever resonates for you. Let's say you carry very heavy boxes and people don't know how you do it, or let's say you are very petite and small and you're still able to find your, like maybe you're very short but you're still able to get something at the top of the shelf. It's kind of like this energy of self-sufficient, of like, let's say I'm walking through the airport with my bags, I can hold my bags on my own, but I also don't mind anybody else helping me. It's giving that kind of energy of like independence, right? So that's something people could find interesting about you, that you seem to be self-sufficient, you seem to be independent, you seem to be good on your own, you seem to not need anybody. And I think some people want to feel needed by you, and they want to like give to you in a way. And I think you don't mind receiving that, but you're also self-sufficient on your own. Like if you didn't have anybody to help you with something, whether that be emotional or physical. Let's say you went through something very big in your life, like maybe let's say some of you mourned a loss in the family, or maybe some of you mourned a loved one. Maybe some of you went through something traumatic, or you just seem to have gone through a lot emotionally and seem to come out of it stronger in some type of way. Um, it seems like you're emotionally strong, where nothing defeats you, nothing stops you from living your life. It seems like you've bounced back in some way, I want to say. Because what I'm picking up on here is maybe you took your own time to heal. Maybe you kind of mourned whatever this was, or healed whatever this was on your own, alone, and you didn't necessarily go to anybody unless that was like somebody close to you for support. Or maybe some of you just went through it alone, and people were just surprised that you seemed like you were gonna get through it. Because when they look at themselves, they would need a lot of support. But maybe some of you just know how to go through things alone, where you've always been there for yourself, and you've learned to deal with emotions on your own. Whereas maybe some of you just went to people you were close to, that you trusted, that you could rely on for that support, and you didn't tell strangers about those things, or people you were not really close to, and so maybe they just assumed you went through it alone, but you didn't. So take whatever resonates for you, but that's something people find interesting, because you seem a lot happier now, like in your mental health and everything. You seem strong, you seem like you're holding it together. Whether you are or not, it just seems like you are holding it together. So that's something people do find interesting. Another thing people find interesting about you, the Queen of Swords reversed, confirms what I said earlier, where maybe some of you struggle to set boundaries for a long time, or you struggle to stand up for yourself, or you struggle to speak your truth to others. And maybe my voice is starting to crack. I don't know why, but maybe there's something about learning to find your voice, learning to speak up for yourself and things like that, and learning to let that fire out of you in a healthy way. So people were very surprised when maybe they saw you changing and that energy up, where you actually started standing up for yourself. For some of you, like maybe some of you had people pleasing tendencies in the past, and you're letting go of that people pleaser side of you. You're gaining a backbone, whereas maybe others of you were never like that. You've always spoken your truth. but people didn't expect you to because of your calm nature. Like I said before, with the Queen of Swords reversed, maybe they expected you to stay quiet, but you didn't. So maybe they assumed something about you that was not true, and then you kind of broke out of that box of their assumption that they put you in. The Queen of Swords reversed tells me, along with the Queen of Wands, it's like you're a very powerful person, but like I said, you also try to remain composed and remain civil with people. But with some people, you've been very cold to them, or you've been very, I want to find the right word. Just give me a second. You've been very harsh with your words to them, but it seems like they deserved it in some way because you're not usually like that. Um, I feel like with you, people don't really see you as an affectionate person. Like you have an energy of being a little bit distant. Maybe you're not physically affectionate or you don't outwardly show your love or express your love, but people do know you feel it. But you're also not a rude person, if that makes sense. And so what I'm feeling here in the energy is when you are harsh with your words towards somebody where they almost cut like a knife, it's because they deserve it in some way. It's because they did something to you that was so bad that you felt like you needed to stand up for yourself. You felt like you needed to speak your truth. So that's what I'm picking up on here, where people just find that interesting and maybe they wonder what that person did or said that made you maybe lash out at them or speak with harsh words, if that makes sense. With the Queen of Wands here, people see you as extremely sexy, so that's something that causes them to be interested in you romantically or sexually. But I do see within your energy that maybe you're somebody that isn't necessarily looking for a relationship for some of you. Like maybe some of you are happy being single or happy being alone, whereas maybe others of you, I'm hearing the song Girls Just Want to Have Fun, where you're just like staying single and fun, where you don't want a relationship right now. You don't want to be tied down right now by a person because you're living your life and you're just enjoying life right now and enjoying being single. Whereas for others of you, I'm picking up that maybe you are open to love, but you've just been burned or wounded where you're taking your time to heal first before you put yourself out there again. And so when people come to you and like you reject them or you're not open or interested in their advances, people get surprised by that and they get interested to know like why you're not like reciprocating any feelings or anything like that, if that makes sense. So I think I'm picking up on a lot of single people within this pile where you've chosen to stay single uh, because of some type of reason, and people are interested to find out what the reason is. People are also interested to know how many people do try to hit on you, like if you get that a lot or not really. Because that's what I'm seeing, like people find you to be very sexy and hot, where they think that you probably get a lot of people that try to come up to you and flirt with you whenever you're out in public, where maybe you have to reject a lot of people or something like that. So that's what I'm picking up on. I'm also getting that some of you, okay, a lot of you in this pile come across as like very sexy, right? But some of you aren't like into hookup culture or things like that. So sometimes people get the wrong impression of you. I don't know why, but then what I'm picking up on here is maybe you reject their advances and they are interested to know why you're rejecting their advances. I don't know. I'm picking up on that. And I'm also seeing here that some people could be interested in your life story and knowing like the things you don't tell to people with the Queen of Swords reverse, the moon at the back of the deck. Some people are interested in knowing things about you that you don't just share to anybody. These are like deeper things about you that feel close to your heart, that feel like something where if you had to tell somebody that, that would be opening up with vulnerability. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm seeing here is like people want to know those things. They're intrigued about that, intrigued about your life story. They want to know things about you that you don't tell anybody else. That's what I'm seeing. People also find you quite interesting because of your vibe and your aura. There's something about your vibe and aura that seems appealing to others. And you also seem to be a positive light of joy, although you've been through a lot of pain in your life. And again, like you're very strong, like you have this warrioress spirit, phoenix energy, where you just rise above anything that's happened to you. You've definitely gone through a big transformation because Psyche is the butterfly goddess. Um, she represents transformation and the goddess of the soul, I think. So there's something about like your vibe, your aura, and also your transformations that you've gone through that people find interesting. There are some similarities to pile number 1, but also differences. So if you were drawn, you're more than welcome to watch that. So next you have the 9 of Wands. So yeah, you've been through a lot of challenges in life, but you remained strong, you remained resilient. You never gave up. We have the 4 of Wands reversed. You have the 9 of Pentacles. It seems like you get a lot of offers in love and dating, but some of you are picky. And it feels like you're kind of unsatisfied with the offers you are getting. So, what Spirit is showing me, it's making me laugh. The one day, I can't remember when this was. This was sometime this year, a few months ago. I went out with these friends, and there was this other girl there that I don't really know that well. And she sat down at the bar with us and she was like, there's no hot people here. Like I wanted to see some hot guys here, but there's no hot guys here. And Spirit is showing me a vision of her saying that, which is making me laugh, like along with the message of like being picky. So maybe for you it's not all about looks. I don't know what it is, but maybe you're just picky when it comes to who you date or something like that, where like maybe the options you've gotten so far just aren't appealing to you in any type of way, or you just don't click with them, you just don't feel any spark with them, any type of vibe with them that makes them appealing to you. And I think for you it's not just about looks, because I think you have a deeper side to you with Psyche here, but I think for you, you need to really vibe with the person and click with the person and feel like, okay, there's some kind of spark there or chemistry there, but you haven't exactly felt that. Maybe some of you have this energy of like, wanting to settle down, but not knowing who to settle down with. Like maybe some of you are single, but you want to get in a relationship, whereas maybe others of you want to stay single and explore, um if that makes sense. But I'm kind of just getting like none of the offers have satisfied you. So people find that interesting, like they want to know why, they want to know what you're looking for, what appeals to you in terms of dating and love. I think people are very interested in knowing about your love life, which also came up in pile 1, Ace of Cups. And your relationships in general, like let's say you stop being friends with somebody. So you have the Ace of Cups, 6 of Swords, and the 6 of Wands reversed at the back of the deck, with the 8 of Cups reversed, popping out the Hangman and the High Priestess. Okay, so let's say you stop being friends with somebody, for example, and as soon as you stop being friends with them, people want to know why. Like they're interested to know why. Or let's say something just changed in your relationship where you grew apart, like now people want to know why. Um it's like they're very interested in your relationships, your friendships, whatever is happening there, how you're feeling about that person now, things like that. That's what I'm seeing. They want to know if that person did something to hurt you, if it was just a mutual decision to stop being friends or stop seeing each other. They want to know if there was a fight, since the 5 of Wands is behind here. They want to know if you wanted to leave that person for a long time but didn't. It's kind of like that, or they want to know if you found out some information about the person that made you not want to be friends with them or associate to them. It kind of just feels like I want to know the tea, if that makes sense. Like, I want to know the gossip. I want to know what's going on here. I'd say with you, whenever drama happens in your life, I see people almost like prying. So, what I'm seeing clairvoyantly is I once saw this video on Instagram of like a dog listening to a fight outside and watching outside from the window. And it kind of reminds me of me a little bit. And my roommates and my boyfriend, whenever somebody's like fighting in my complex, we always stand by the door and try to listen to what's happening. So it kind of reminds me of that type of energy of like trying to figure out what's happening in the drama. Because people are just curious naturally. And I don't feel like it's with malicious intentions. It's just like a curiosity of like, I want to find out what's happening. Like, I want to find out what's going on. um, so I see people wanting to know what's happening in your life, what drama happened, and I feel like maybe some of you don't exactly speak about people negatively after a relationship ends. Even if something bad did happen between the two of you, you try to remain respectful. Whereas for others of you, you could be open about those things. But you also keep some details to yourself and try not to like badmouth the person, but try to just speak facts of the situation of whatever happened. But then it almost feels like people want more information about it because of intrigue and like drama and gossip and like just wanting the tea. Not that they want to gossip about you, but they want the gossip from you, if that makes sense. People are also very interested in how you made certain changes in your life and how you stick to it and remained like consistent without getting unmotivated with the Ace of Wands and Six of Swords. Like, let's say you wanted to make a change, for example, by getting healthier and getting fit. And, maybe some days you were unmotivated. You didn't feel like going to the gym, but you pushed through anyway. They want to know, like, how you did it, how you stayed motivated, things like that. People also want to know why certain things didn't work out in your life. Where again, it feels like that curiosity, like I want to know the drama, I want to know the tea. So let's say, for example, let's say you got let go from a job and people want to know like what happened. I'm seeing an energy like that where it almost feels like I just know that, okay, you got let go from this job, but I don't know why. Like it almost feels like sometimes when you tell people things, you're a little bit vague because you want to keep your own privacy. You don't want to like reveal everything about yourself. And it feels like I just want more information as I'm in their energy. Okay, so that's interesting. That's what I'm seeing here. Um, I don't know how you feel about that. How you would feel about like people being a little bit curious about drama and things like that, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. So I do hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number threes. If you chose the Specula Hematite crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what people find interesting about you. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you do find yourself resonating with these messages, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I'm taking my last bookings for November and I'm almost fully booked. After that, I will be taking a break from personal readings. So if you don't want to miss out, please find my email address in the description box below. So your card is the Nine of Swords reversed. I'm tasting coffee in my mouth like as I'm in your pile, and the dog next door keeps crying. So maybe some of you love coffee, love going to coffee shops, and let's say you go to a coffee shop and you put your order in, and there's kind of like people watching you that are interested in finding out about who you are. I'm seeing something like that. Or let's say maybe coffee represents you always being somebody with a lot of energy, and people wonder like how you have so much energy, and they're interested in you because you seem so energetic in some way. They're interested in finding out more about you. So I'm seeing something like that. With the dog, maybe some of you have lots of dogs or pets, or just have an animal of your own, and people are interested in your dog, like or your pet. So let's say you're walking your dog, but for most of you, I'm feeling the energy of a dog. Let's say you're walking your dog, and a stranger's walking by. They kind of want to pet your dog. Find out what your dog's name is, tell you your dog is so cute. Like I'm seeing an energy like that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull your tarot cards. We're just going to look at tarot today. And then after that, I'll take a look at your clarification cards. Okay, so spirit guides of pile number 3. Spirit guides of pile number 3. What do people find interesting about pile number 3? What do people find interesting about pile number 3? So you have the 8 of Swords. You have the Chariot in the reverse. I kind of feel like pulling cards from the back. You have 10 of Wands. I'm seeing lipstick, like a red lipstick, or just lipstick in general, or makeup. People are interested in the way you do your makeup. Like they want to find out if you did your own makeup, if you did it yourself, your makeup skills are really good and you really know how to enhance your own beauty with your makeup. Maybe they want to find out if you can do their makeup. Something about makeup is coming through, or like what lipstick shade you're wearing because it looks very good on you. I'm seeing something to do with beauty and like wanting to ask you what clothes you're wearing, where you got it from, because maybe it looks really good and I want to buy it myself. Maybe your hair looks really good and they want to find out, is your hair color natural? Did you get it dyed? What salon do you go to? Like, what do you do to make your hair look so good? I'm picking up on energies like that where I feel like I want to ask you, what shade of lipstick you're wearing, or like what makeup, what foundation you're wearing, or whatever. Something about that is coming through. I'm also smelling food. It almost smells like stir fry or something, or like Asian food that I'm smelling. So maybe some people could see you eating food and could be interested to know, like, where did you buy that food, or what are you eating that smells so good? Something like that's coming through. Like I'm even seeing somebody at the office, right? You're at the office and you're eating food and your coworkers are interested to know what you're eating because it smells good. So that's what I'm getting from smelling the food, because it really smells delicious and it's making me hungry now. Anyways, with the 8 of Swords here and the 9 of Swords reversed, as I'm looking at these cards, tears are forming in my eyes. So I feel as though you've been through a lot of pain. This has come up within all 3 piles. You've been through something that made you feel stuck, that made you feel so anxious, where you were afraid of something. Maybe some of you had PTSD from something, or trauma from something, or maybe some of you suffered from anxiety, where you were maybe diagnosed with general anxiety disorder, because that's what I'm hearing in my mind. Of course, I can't diagnose anybody, but I'm hearing that in my mind. So maybe some of you just had a lot of fears or worries, or things kind of holding you down, where you didn't know what was going to happen next. It feels like a situation that was kind of out of your control, where you felt very hopeless about it, where you didn't know what to do. You could have even felt like you lost yourself in a certain situation, or a certain relationship, or a certain job. Like I've lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore. Maybe some of you went through an ego death. Or like a huge spiritual awakening after feeling so stuck and anxious. And I'm feeling my throat chakra open up in your energy. So maybe there's something about finding my voice, or learning to speak my truth, or learning to express myself more, get vulnerable, learning to stand up for yourself. That definitely came up in pile 2 as well. But with you, I'm picking up on the energy of maybe I'm scared to stand up for myself and I'm finally learning to. As an example, with the Five of Wands at the back of the deck, it's like you learn to fight for yourself, you learn to defend yourself, you learn to stand up for yourself in ways. And that's what people are interested in. They're also interested to know, like, how this situation affected you and your mental health, but they also don't want to ask you that because maybe they feel like it's not their place. That's what I'm hearing. It's not my place. It's not my business. But I'm interested to know, like, if you're okay. So I see people like wanting to come up to you and hug you or comfort you, but not knowing if they should or not, like not knowing if that would make you uncomfortable. Or yeah, it feels like it's not my place to do that, but like I want to comfort you and ask you if you're okay. Okay, so I'm seeing trigger warning. I'm seeing somebody went through a miscarriage and like people found out about it and wanted to comfort you. Or I'm seeing a funeral of some kind where maybe you lost somebody and it was out of your control and people wanted to comfort you or be there for you or something like that. Some of you went through a situation in your relationship where you had a problem with a person you were in a relationship with, whether that be romantic, friendship, family, whatever resonates for you. And it felt like you were very hopeless in this connection. You felt stuck. You felt worried about what was going to happen next in the future. And it felt like such a big problem that we felt like we couldn't overcome this. We felt like almost powerless in this situation. Like we're trying to fix things, but it just feels like we're not getting along or seeing eye to eye. We're constantly fighting. We're trying to have a healthy relationship, but it just doesn't seem to go the way we're planning it. So I'm seeing something about that where people are interested in to know like if you're still with that person, if you still talk to that person, if you still have those relationship problems, if things are sorted now, or if you just kind of separated yourself from the person. So, what I'm seeing as an example is maybe some people don't know the details of what happened here, but maybe they could see that your relationship kind of had its own issues. So, for example, what I'm seeing is like a couple that's always fighting, and like maybe you had those things happen in front of others. Or for others of you, I'm seeing a situation where maybe other people don't know what happened, but maybe you used to post this person all the time online and now you don't post them anymore, and they're wondering if you are still friends with that person or in a relationship with that person, or if you still talk to that person, because maybe some of you still have those old photos up or you've deleted them, but there's something about like I don't really know if that person's still talking to that other person. So that's what I'm seeing. So that's something they're interested to know about. This reading has been very, like with all three piles, I see that people are very curious about things that have to do with relationships. Because that came up within all three piles, but in different ways, where it's like people are curious to know about what happened in that relationship and what's going on with this person and this person. So I'm seeing energies like that. It's almost like an intrigue, wanting to pry, wanting to know the drama. It's things like that. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles showing up next. We have the Fool. We have the Lovers reversed. We have Two of Swords reversed. And we have the Four of Wands reversed with an extra card, the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so what I'm seeing with you is when it comes to this relationship that was in your life, that's like a big focus here that people are interested to know about. They want to know what happened, like if the relationship fell apart because of its problems, or if you're still together and trying to sort out those problems. They want to know if you found somebody new, Like, let's say you were dating this person and now you're not anymore, and now they want to know like if you found somebody new, or if you're looking for somebody new, or if you're just like looking to stay single for now until you heal. There's a lot of intrigue about your relationships, especially romantic. And like relationships that have ended or relationships that had problems where it feels like it was out of our control. Like I said, it was not my choice. So maybe someone, for some of you, maybe somebody broke up with you, or somebody stopped being friends with you where it wasn't your choice. And people want to know like what happened. I feel like for some of you, you didn't even get closure yourself. Like maybe you were really close to somebody and they just ghosted you, or they just left without an explanation, and you didn't even get that closure yourself. And so I see other people looking at the situation confused, like what happened, but you can't even tell them yourself because you yourself don't know. And I keep seeing stuff with beauty because now I'm smelling like a scent, almost like, you know, when somebody washes their hair and their hair smells really nice from the shampoo, like I'm smelling that. So maybe people want to ask like what hair products you use, or what perfumes you wear, colognes you wear, things like that. People are interested in going out with you, even if you're not somebody that goes out a lot. And people also are interested in knowing how you overcame anxieties and things like that, and things holding you down and holding you back. Because with the Fool here, it seems like you're not in this energy anymore. You stepped into a new energy where it feels like you liberated yourself from the situation. It feels like you let go of your fears or faced your fears of some kind of situation in your life. And it seems like you're more stable now with the Ten of Pentacles. It seems like you are getting things in order or getting your life together in some type of way. Maybe some of you went back to school or started studying again. It just seems like you're making plans for your future that are going to help you have more security. Um, and it feels like you've overcome something big, and people want to know like how you did it. They're interested in finding out about that. Maybe they themselves struggle with those same things, and they kind of just want to know for their own knowledge to learn from you, if that makes sense. So this is what I have for you, pile number 3. I do hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.